Hi everyone, welcome to week 10 of English 97. Can you guys believe we're going to start our last essay in this course? Woo-hoo! That doesn't mean our work is over, but this is our last sort of new topic, new essay prompt. And then once we finish essay 4 in a few weeks, we will spend the rest of the semester working on revising and kind of putting together your final portfolio. So let's go ahead and get started with essay 4. All right, so I wanted to just give you a preview of the assignments due for week 10. You do have some readings, page 224 to 230 in Writings from Life. And actually, during the course of this video, what I'm going to do is have you pause and complete that reading or those activities as we go, just kind of as a way to make this a little more interactive. So make sure that you've got your book with you and a pen or a pencil ready. And then watch one of the posted TED Ed videos on Blackboard. So there are 3 options. Let me actually pull up our course to show you. So when you go into our essay 4 folder, you'll see that there are 3 TED Ed videos here. You don't have to watch all 3, please just pick one. It's, I think, a little different than our usual readings, but I wanted to kind of mix it up this week. So once you've done those readings, you'll have discussion board 10 due Thursday and then essay 4 pre-writing due on Sunday. So let's talk about essay 4. The assignment sheet is listed on Blackboard under our essay 4 folder, and I've got a screenshot of most of it here, although there is one more section you'll want to look over. So looking over the assignment sheet, at the top it says this 4th essay will help us accomplish the following goal for English 97. Be able to cultivate style and tone by strategically employing rhetorical devices appropriate for the situation and circumstance. Whew, that's a mouthful. Essentially, what this means is to practice adjusting the way that you write and the words that you use in order to fit why you're writing and who you're writing to. So it's simply thinking about your tone and style. We'll focus on this more as we go on with essay 4, but just a few things to keep in mind. Once you've decided your topic for essay 4, think about who you're writing to, why you're writing to them, what your attitude is about your topic, and then the style is how you're going to write about the topic you've chosen. So let's talk about the topic. The assignment is we make decisions every day, from choosing what to watch on Friday night to what to major in during college or who to support in an election. Decision-making and evaluating options is an important life and writing skill. So for essay 4, we're going to compare and evaluate 2 similar subjects and persuade our audience to think of the correct choice to make. And I chose this little scale as the image for essay 4 because I want you to kind of think about weighing 2 options, right? We do this every day, all the time, all day long. We are really inundated, like presented with so many choices throughout our daily lives. So the ability to evaluate between subjects that you're presented with is actually very, very important. So what you all are going to do is to choose a decision you're interested in discussing and then convince your audience of the correct decision to make. So I put correct in quotes here because technically there's obviously 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 options, and what you think is the correct option and what I think is the correct option may be different. But depending on who you're writing to, that'll change how you present your options. So for this essay, in particular, it's important to think about who is interested in the subject you've chosen and how you can appeal to this group in particular. Are you speaking to students, car buffs, conservative voters? Your approach will change depending on who you're writing to. And that comes down to that style and tone that I mentioned. We're going to get really more into style and tone next week when we start drafting. So for this week, just be thinking about a topic, who you're writing to, and how you might approach just the topic itself, all right? And then next week, we'll get into more of thinking about word choice and how to convince your audience and all of that. So when you're thinking of a topic, I really want to encourage you all to choose something that you care about, something you have experience with. That's true for all of the subjects in our course. And for this in particular, think about something other people will be concerned with and a decision that's kind of complex. So what I don't want is you to write about having a cat versus a dog. That's something we might talk about in 4th grade, but it's really probably not complex enough for a college level writing class. So think about difficult decisions, things that you spend some time considering, where your kids should go to school, what you're going to major in your program, deciding to go to community college or a four-year school, the car you're going to buy with your tax return. These are decisions that can impact more than just what happens today. So I think that you could choose a not so serious topic, but that might be difficult to approach. So I want you to be creative, but I also want you to think about something that's not just an easy choice. You know, whether you should wear white or black tomorrow isn't a choice that might fit an essay like this. All right, so be thinking about that as you're looking at topics. All right, so let's look at an example. If I were going to write a decision or comparative essay, I was thinking about, okay, what are some things I personally care about? I'm a teacher, I love education, and I love what I do. So I was thinking, what if I wrote about the option of teaching at a community college like SWIC, where I teach now, or teaching at a high school? I have my high school certification and could teach at a high school, applied to several before I came to SWIC, and that really was a decision I was weighing. I mean, I knew I wanted to teach English, but at what level is a big decision, right? So for this, I thought that the people who might be most interested in this decision are those who are going to be teachers. So I said my audience is graduate students kind of deciding what they're going to do next. Then when I think about, okay, well, why am I writing to them? What's my purpose? And I think that based on my experience, I would want to encourage other students to try teaching at the college level instead of high school. And then I thought, okay, what might my tone be? How could I convince these students which option they should choose? And I thought, I want to be persuasive, but I also want to be confident. I have experience teaching at both levels, and so I want to kind of play on that experience. So this is just an example I thought of for me. So what's a decision that you might do, something that you know about or have experience with? When you think about how you're going to compare your subject, right? You want to think about the comparative criteria you're going to use, and I'll show some examples in a minute. But once you've decided the decision you're going to talk about, then you want to ask yourself, what's most important when evaluating these choices, all right? You want to have more comparisons than fewer. You know, if you're talking about a simple subject, one that's not very complex, your list of comparisons might be one or two. That could be a clue that you want to keep digging. What you want to also do is look at your subjects from different perspectives and keep your reader in mind. What would they find most important? Based on what we've looked at so far, what I want you to do is pause this video and complete the exercises on page 227 to 230 of your textbook. It goes through a couple examples of topics you could choose and asks you to kind of decide criteria for them. So before I show you what I would do, I want you to give it a try. Okay, so now that you've completed those couple exercises in our textbook, let's go through what I might do if I was writing about teaching at a community college versus the high school level. So again, my audience are graduate students, and I want to think about what would they care about. When I was a graduate student looking for a job, and I think most of us either looking for a job or thinking about future careers, I thought about how available are jobs at the college level versus high school. I think when I was in school, the assumption was that teaching at the college level was really unattainable, that was for people with PhDs and years of experience and much more expertise in, say, literature than I personally have. Then I might think about, what's the difference in training between the two? Do you need a different degree to teach at the college level? Or like often you need a state certification to work at a high school? So actually you need more qualifications to work at a high school in some cases. To work at a community college, you do need still a master's degree, you do need teaching qualifications, but it's not as specific as state requirements for high schools. So in a lot of ways, teaching at the community college level is a little more flexible, and there's a reason for that. You might also compare average pay. teaching at the high school level, will you make more in a few years than at the college level? Then I also thought about maybe professional development opportunities. I have a lot of freedom in how and what I teach. So that's something I really value as an instructor. And it's what makes me have fun with what I do. And then also I might think about student need. As teachers, we're concerned with what our students need and where they are. And I strongly believe that community college students have a need for quality teachers that we're just not filling. So these are the things I might talk about in my essay. So now I'm going to have you pause again. Complete page 230 to 231. This is going to ask you who your audience is and the purpose you have in writing to them. All right, so now you've established which decision you're working with, the comparative criteria that you're going to use to decide, and then the last thing I want you to think about is the conclusion. So based on everything you've presented, all of this criteria and comparing these two subjects and making a decision, what's the best option? For me, I might end with saying, based on my experience and all of these pieces, I think that teaching at a community college gives more opportunity and has a higher need than teaching at a high school. That's not to say that we don't need high school teachers, of course. But if I'm encouraging one of those decisions, I have to choose one, right? So this is also on your pre-writing for this week. I want you to think about how are you going to end and give a finality to your decision. Is it as simple as flipping a coin? They're actually really similar and it's hard to choose. Or is one option clearly better than the other? All right. I would encourage you to think about the option that is stronger, because saying, oh, choose the one that's best for you, I think is applicable to most topics. So it'll be more persuasive, it'll be stronger if you force yourself to choose one. Alrighty, so based on what we've talked about here and those activities in your book, I think you're ready to start the pre-writing for Essay 4. Go ahead and make sure you turn that in by Sunday.